Hi, Cancers. This is your reading for the week of September 29th. Again, Cancer, Sun, Moon, Rising, possibly Venus, or just a lot of Cancer in your chart. This is the energy that's coming up for you. And the thing that I heard was, "How do I love thee? Let me count the ways." Of course, it's an old start of an old poem, but it changed, and I was being told it needs to be turned into, "How do I love me? Let me count the ways." And the feeling I'm getting for you, Cancers, is that you've got, obviously, we know you've got a huge heart, and that you are emotionally inclined to embrace other people and do your best to make other people feel loved and cared for. And what you're being told here is, how can you do that for yourself? What is it you can do for you that is going to, I'm sorry, they're changing that. It's not what can you do for you. It's how can you change your perspective so that loving you becomes equally important and primarily important. And why is that important? Well, it's important for a bunch of reasons. And one is that by shifting your perception of how you love yourself, how you care for yourself, how you perceive your worthiness, your worth, your lovability, directly affects your energy in a way where you are able to be more playful, have more of a sense of light heart. And because you really radiate energy, not only is it good for you, it's good for everybody else. It means that you can start now seeing emotion as something that can be lived in a really light-hearted, not in a like, ha ha kind of way, but in a light-hearted kind of way, where there is, where it's not so heavy and dense and dramatic. Because Cancer, you can really change the chemistry in a room, the energy in a room, because you radiate so much energy. And it tends to touch people because it is a very strongly emotional energy, right? It's interesting what they're saying is part of the reason why it touches people so much is because it's not an imposing energy. It's an offered energy. And so when it's coming through, there is a tendency for it to be received because it's not putting up people's walls usually, okay? So what they're saying here, Cancer, is this is good for you, obviously, because Cancers, you've gone through a lot in your love stories, and not just in romantic love, but in your friends and in your families. You're learning now to be able to, this is important too, you're learning now to be able to accept that people will not always be understanding you. They'll not always be the people that are going to be the most supportive of you or understand your values or even what you need, because they're not necessarily going to be empathic people. But now you're at a place where it doesn't have to hurt you when they're that way. You can see it as about them and not about you. The first image that I saw before I heard that, how do I love thee? Oh, wait, how do I love me? It was your heart open like this, but instead of just opening this way, it was opening so that it was a 360-degree bubble that was surrounding you. It was your love surrounding you, moving through you and surrounding you in a way where it supports all of these positive feelings in you. Now, your job right now in this process, because so many things are breaking down in terms of the structures in the world and in people's lives individually. And remember that the way we think, the mechanisms of our mind are also a structure. The physiology of our brain is also a structure. With its neural patterns and everything else. So as these things are changing, one of the things that will probably benefit you very much is to remember that whatever you do with an attitude of pleasure, with the intention of experiencing it with pleasure. Like that can be an experience. Now, this is important too. What they're telling me is that as sometimes the attitude towards emotions can be for cancers quite dramatic and quite intense in that almost heavy, very focused, intense way. But what they're saying is just because that's a habit of approaching emotion that way, that is no longer the way that you have to approach it. You can choose to when you find yourself in that place, you can shift it and go, oh look, this is what I'm doing. I'm making it all dramatic now. Do I have to do that? I don't have to do that. I have a choice here. How can I look at it differently? And this is where they say, use humor, okay? And use positive triggers for yourself. So what are positive triggers? Positive triggers are things that lift your spirit, that lighten your load, that make you feel good, that make you feel positive, that ease you, that cause you to relax. It might be dancing to Latin music. It might be listening to violin or harp. It might be wearing certain colors or eating certain foods that are calming for you and really give you a sense of nourishment. It can be a whole bunch of different things that basically ground you, center you, and cause you to be expansive in a way where you can feel calm and open and receive grace and receive information. It's got that sense of ease and grace to it. Now, what they're also saying is, if in the process of things breaking down, you have a lot of sadness come up and grief, do your best not to worry about it. Allow yourself to step back so that you don't get deeply dramatic about it. And take a chance on letting yourself feel the grief at the rate that you are capable of. You don't have to rush into it. You can do it gradually. And allow yourself to process that grief out. And, the grief cards come up because there's no sad card, but it could just be deep old sadness that you've got too. Because, again, when you have been so lovingly open and it has been unrequited or unacknowledged or unappreciated or abused, misused, taken for granted, then that is something that can linger for a while, and you might need to process that out. So what they're saying is, take a chance that everything you're doing for that is right. Keep positive triggers going. Understand that pleasure can be a choice, especially when it comes to how you deal with your emotions, and that if you can keep humor involved and keep a humorous outlook. They're also saying, be aware of saying yes to anything that's positive. So really focus on the things that are positive for you, not in a false way, but something positive might be somebody offering you their ticket, suddenly having to go and offering you their ticket in line so you don't have to buy one. Well, that's a positive thing. So say yes to the good things. Notice the good things. Welcome the good things in, because that also, every time you experience generosity, kindness, that you offer it or that you receive it, that lifts your energy in a really big way. Cancers, I'm going to leave this for now, but I just really want to say, I feel like this is really a pivotal time for you to really shift the way in which you perceive your ability to function with emotion in a different way, and to allow whatever is breaking down or whatever needs to be grieved or whatever you need to experience sadness around is actually going to be a very healing thing for you, and something that really opens your heart and expands it in a way where, again, you are encompassed by your own love. Okay? I'm going to leave you with that, Cancers. Take care.